guys, it is I.B.B. and this is post commentary here today because there was something that I wanted to go over. Oftentimes I get some questions. One of those questions is, since the update, there's a lot of long range and mid range bots flying around here on these maps, and yes, that is the case. And I am not one to complain about those things. I just sort of play the game as it is. If it's fun, I play it. If it's not, I don't. And so one of the things that I do when I see that I'm up against a certain number of bots, you know, people keep repeating what's successful, so apparently long range and mid range is successful. You know, how do you combat that? And so what I do, instead of complaining about it, is I just try to find ways to match against those guys. And so I thought that this was a really good game where I thought that I did a pretty good job at dealing with a lot of mid range and long range. As you can see right there, there's a lot of trebs flying at me. And a little bit later in the game, they're just not going to give that up. They're going to bring in some mid range. So they go from trebs to tridents. And that seems to be just what players are doing nowadays in this game. And it goes in spurts. Sometimes you get into, I think it depends on when you're playing the game. That's what I find, is when I'm playing the game depends mostly on what weapons and bots that I will see. Anyway, just an observation that I have. So what I'm going to do here in this game is I'm actually going, because you don't really win games with all that long range on your team. You can't go get beacons, or you're not going to go get beacons. Let me say that. It's not that you can't do it. You're just not going to do it. And so if you don't do that, let's see, we're up 3 beacons to 2 right now. If they don't get out of those bots, or at least take those bots and go get some beacons, they're not going to win this game. And so I know that, I recognize that. I don't need to go get them. If I'm last on the scorecard at the end of this game, I don't care. If they want to sit back like that, let them sit back like that. So all you're going to see me do here early on in this game is actually just use this terrain. I kind of went over here to flank them just a little bit, but then I decided, you know, I'm going to come back here and use this little structure to my benefit. And you're going to see me go back and forth on this. I'm going to fire one Tehran at this guy. I'm going to go over to the other side once that's empty and fire the other Tehran. And I'm just going to work my way back and forth. Now, he happens to be behind cover here, but I want him to know that, yes, I do know he's here, and he's not going to get a free lunch. And so this I know doesn't fit with a lot of, you say, well, that doesn't fit my playing style. Well, sometimes your playing style has to take on what it is that has to take on in order for you to win a game, if you care about that stuff. Other people just want to play the game, and they don't care about winning or losing, and that's fine too. Sometimes I'm like that. Sometimes I throw in some stupid setup bots and just go have some fun. And and that's why I've always been a big proponent of playing this game how you want to play it, and I'm not a big fan of rewarding certain behaviors and punishing other behaviors. I'm really not. Alright, so you can see here, I'm just not going to expose my position. I'm not willing to do that. I'm going to make them come get me, because they're the ones that have to be the aggressors right now. And when you're in that position, it actually is a detriment. You do not have the upper hand when you are the team that has to be the aggressor. Whether you're down on beacons, you're down on the beacon bar, or maybe you're meching out, or something like that. So he was taking our home beacon, but if I would have went out there, I would have exposed myself to a 2-on-1 situation in which, you know, my physical shield was not going to help out any. So here it's just a tough call. What do? You know, because he's got a shield, and the shields on these Galahads, they're just tough, you know, and to break those with 2 Tehrans, you're just not gonna have a hard time. So luckily I got some backup here that came in there, and so now I know I've got some backup. So you know, I'm gonna see me go out here to try and take back our home beacon, and I'm actually having trouble with my controls here. My phone is kind of heating up on this game because I've been playing for a while, and when it happens, the controls kind of freeze on it a little bit. So you're going to see me turn this beacon, and then I'm just going to go ahead and get out of here. But the The bot that I'm going to jump back into is going to be a mid-range bot, because there's no sense in coming in with a knife fighter bot if they still have a bunch of long-range and mid-range bots, because generally what will happen is you'll see a team come out with mid-range and long-range at first, but then once they get taken out of those, or maybe the players realize that they need a different bot, so they'll dump them. Once you get past that first wave of long and mid-range, they usually come in with some knife fighters. So I like to save my knife fighters for when they have their knife fighters so that I can match them head on. So you saw me coming out here in my mid-range bot, and I'm going to play this perimeter here. And I'm actually in this game squatting with somebody that I randomly met in the game. His name is Thumper, and he's from the VFA clan. And so if you're watching, I doubt he's a subscriber to my channel, but if he is and you're watching, hey, sup, dude? Good games. There he is right there in front of me. And I am going to provide some support for him right back here on the perimeter. So he's going to go in there and try and get their home beacon. And as soon as I take care of that Lancelot over there. And now one of the things that I do is when I'm firing at somebody, when I'm engaging with somebody, especially this mid-range, and I was firing at a Leo there not long ago, you can fire at them and have a relatively high success rate of hitting them with some rockets, but be able to look off to your peripheral on the side of the screens. You don't have to have your eyes completely focused on who you're firing at. And so that's what I was doing there. Even though I was firing at that Leo earlier, I was actually seeing the movement of the red team members off on my right side. So that's why you saw me immediately go from the Leo. Once I took care of him, I immediately knew my next target was that Lancelot, because he was out of position. So if it seemed seamless from one target to the other, it was. That's something that I had done. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and get around on this flank, and he's not actually going to let me do that. What I'm hoping to do is actually push him a little bit forward, and if I can do that, then somebody on my team might be able to get him from the other side. Oh, and then here I realized that I've got Thumper coming in. I really enjoyed the games that we played together. It was just a lot of fun. So he started it, and I finished it. Came in and capped the beacon that he wasn't able to cap. So I'm just trying to... I know that Fury back there has some tridents, and there's a wide splash range on that, so it's just going to be hard for me to deal with that. And here's a muff jump. I wanted to go back behind, in between that ramp there, just slightly above, and I actually did not hit that jump just right. Not that that matters. It doesn't matter. Alright, so now I'm going to come in here. This game is really close. I got a knife fighter. We've got most of their mid-range, and they had a lot of it, I gotta say. So we've got that taken care of, and now I'm just going to head down there. You're going to see me walk down there and cap that beacon. They're going up 3-2, so we just can't let that happen. So in order to win the game, doesn't help on the damage scorecard part of it, but it does help to win the game. So go cap the beacon. There's not much he's going to be able to do to stop me. Now, here's the thing. If earlier in the game I would have gone and been a little bit more aggressive and tried to attack their long range with my knife fighter, and I would have probably mech'd out like a lot of other guys in this game, and then I wouldn't have been here to be able to cap the center beacon, and this game may have played out a little bit differently here. So the name of the game when you're playing against long and mid-range is to stay alive while those bots are in here. At least in my opinion, that's the way that I play it. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. I have new gameplay videos every single day. Smash the thumbs up, thumbs down button, and you can see that was a pretty solid game all around. Have a good one.